I think more world model startups should be consumer funding or consumer faced. I think a lot of them are more so coming from the lens of, hey, how can I best work with robotic companies, but whether it's a self-driving car or humanoid robot, where you can basically say, hey, how can I build an internal representation of the world for a robot to better interact and better plan and better execute tasks via virtue of that internal representation. That being said, that's a completely different paradigm from how can I create immersive worlds for human beings to interact. And a great way to explain this essentially is with a robot, you're basically just trying to create an environment where it learns X task for this amount of time. And that's pretty much it. Just generate another environment, another environment. But with a human, you have to more so think along the lines of a Nintendo DS, right? Where you kind of have a cartridge that you can come back to anytime you want, right? And the world is still the same. Because imagine if you had a Nintendo Switch game or any game, right? And that you worked really hard on, and you come back and everything's just gone, and you keep on doing it again. It's always different. That's not what you really want. Um, but I don't know. I don't know. I think it is something maybe because I think much more consumer focused. I know B2B is probably the best approach for any startup, but I just feel like it's such a waste opportunity, and maybe that's something where it's like me as a person should go do something in that field because I do think it has a lot of merits. I think there is a I think there's a space for it. I think especially that's something with VR that would work really, really well if there were world models that could create any world you wanted. That's something I really wish for the Meta Quest because the Meta Quest you kind of had a lack of native VR games, I would say, that were really interesting to me. But if I could go create my own worlds and then invite people to come play in those worlds with my own game mechanics, and it was very, very easy to do, that's a completely different thing, right? It's like, oh, dang. Now it's like, it feels like a campier and explosion of creativity of what you can really do. Um, I don't know. I don't know. I think it's kind of sad. Even with the game thing is the one that annoys me the most because it does seem like a really exciting. It really does seem as an it seems like an exciting frontier, right? So like even with Genie 3, when it's like, oh, this is a game. This is the end of game engines and all that. Obviously, that did like Genie 3 is not going to be the end of game engines, but I do think there's an exciting place for world models in that gaming space, which is so annoying because now I feel like more people are going to rush towards the video-based world model. I'm not going to say it's because it's easier to do. I think there's more research on it, right? I think I do see it being more research on this, and more it's a it's easier to adopt. It's easier to adopt. I think because it's easier to adopt, you're gonna have much more people like trying to do that. As a result, it's a fundamentally misaligned architecture for the problem. Um, I don't know. I don't know. There's a CPVR workshop that's coming up, but maybe I should do something that really does show what a native world model game engine could look like. That's 3D/4D based. But who knows? Who knows? It's just something that's been on my mind lately. I think it's really it's not disappointing, but it's kind of sad. Like I really want to do something and world models, and like 99 or 90% of the startups that I see doing stuff in world models are just doing video based things. But I'm like, just like it's cool, but like like, don't you want a real consumer product that people can really use? And just to reiterate, I don't think video based role models cannot be a consumer product. I think they could actually be a really great Netflix alternative or Netflix adjacent service where like you kind of have like the world of Westeros or wherever fantasy world you're interested in. You can kind of explore and like the memory of that world doesn't matter too much because it's just like, oh, hey, this is a really cool visual and stuff like that. But I think really for the best consumer products, I really do think 3D/4D based world models or a native world model game engine will be the best approach. But besides that, I have nothing else to say. So have a great day.